Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Walton. I'm a psychologist and I help people who are stuck with particular issues like mental health or with lifestyle issues that they're struggling to change. And I help people to understand what's going on for them, why they've got stuck, and look at ways that they can live more fully. And I know that you may have some kind of fears or uncertainties about contacting and working with an online psychologist. So in this video, I just want to talk briefly about one of those issues, which is confidentiality. So confidentiality is something that obviously you might assume is important if you're working with a psychologist or therapist. But what does that mean? So there are kind of three parts to this. First of all, of course, what we talk about is confidential and it wouldn't be talked about with other people. But there are some exceptions to that. So secondly, there are exceptions to whether I would be able to tell other people some of what we've talked about. And that would be if that you told me something that there was a risk of harm to yourself or a risk of harm to another person. If you were to tell me something like that, then that might be something that I would have to act on and tell perhaps a GP, or in extreme cases, perhaps even the police. I might have to pass that information on. And that's usually a very rare circumstance. And if that were to happen, most likely I would be talking with you about that first. So that is one of the exceptions to confidentiality. The other one, that it's not really an exception, to be fair. It's what happens is that as psychologists, we're trying to help you with the difficulty that you have, and of course we're people too, so we have to kind of pick out what's us and what's you, and trying to understand what's going on for you and try to work out the best way to help you. So although what we talk together about is confidential, we also have somebody called a supervisor. It's another professional, usually somebody more senior than us, who we're working with to try and understand what's going on for you. So we would be telling them a little bit about what we've talked together about, but actually in most cases that would also be anonymous, and the supervisor wouldn't necessarily even know who you are. Another thing that would potentially kind of come under this category is that sometimes as psychologists we're obviously teaching other professionals or wanting to share important information about how we work. So sometimes we might share some details that are anonymized from the people that we work with, and you'll see actually in my consent forms I stipulate this quite clearly, whether you give permission for me to do that bit or not, because you could choose that bit. But again, that would all be anonymous. So other than this, what we talk about here in these sessions online, with me in my place of work and you over in your home, hopefully in a private space, what we talk about would be confidential. I wouldn't be sharing that with anybody else other than those circumstances I just described. So I appreciate it's not always easy to work out, who is the right psychologist or therapist for you, and also how comfortable you feel about working in a video call type format like this. So one of the things I do is I offer a very short kind of 10-15 minute call for us to just meet and for you to see if this might be a useful service for you or not. If you'd like to book one of those, you can actually just book yourself in directly using the link that is with this video. Or if you still have questions and you'd rather know a little bit more first, you can contact me via the website 2Clicks Psychological Services.